The sun over the black land. The desert wind drifted across the infinite expanse of sand, carrying grains that had not moved for centuries. The sky burned gold, then white, then gold again, as the sun rose over the Nile, the lifeline of the ancient world. Along this sacred river, where the black, fertile earth met the eternal desert, time seemed to stretch forever. And yet, this was the day everything changed. A boy named Arda stood at the river's edge, his reflection trembling on the water's surface. He did not belong to this world, not truly. He came from another age, an age of airplanes, neon lights, and digital screens. But destiny had pulled him backward through invisible threads that stretched thousands of years into a civilization that had already died before his ancestors were even born. Arda did not know how he arrived here. His memory was fractured like a vase shattered on stone. The last thing he recalled was a museum, an artifact, a symbol carved into a golden scarab, a sudden burst of light, and then silence. Now the air smelled of papyrus, lotus flowers, and wet earth. The sounds of birds echoed from the reeds, and behind him rose a city of limestone and mud brick homes, bustling with merchants, scribes, priests, and farmers. Was this real, or a dream, or something far more powerful? Before Arda could gather his thoughts, an elderly man approached. Draped in linen robes, his skin was tanned like ancient leather, and his eyes held the weight of countless stories. "You have arrived," the old man said, in a voice like shifting sand. Arda swallowed. "Where am I?" "In Kemet," the man replied. "The Black Land, the kingdom of the two lands, the place your people will one day call Egypt." Arda's heart thundered. Egypt, ancient Egypt. But how? "Fate," the old man whispered, "and the gods have chosen you." Before Arda could speak, horns sounded across the city. The crowd parted as a procession passed along the main road. Soldiers with shaved heads, priests in leopard skins, women holding lotus blossoms. And at the center, carried by servants, was a golden palanquin. Inside it sat a man with dark eyeliner, a crook and flail crossed on his chest, and a crown shaped like a coiled serpent. The pharaoh, living incarnation of Horus, master of the two lands, and his gaze locked onto Arda, as if he already knew him, as if he had been waiting. The old man leaned closer. "Your journey begins now, Arda, and it will change not just this world, but your own." The wind shifted, the sky dimmed, a hawk cried overhead, and the sands began to move. The eye of the gods. Dawn broke with crimson light spilling over the desert. Arda walked beside the old man, whose name was Serapion, toward the ruins of an ancient temple that towered above the horizon. It was massive, even in its broken state. Columns carved with lotus and papyrus rose like the ribs of an enormous stone beast. Fallen blocks lay scattered across the ground, each etched with hieroglyphs that shimmered in the sunlight as though alive. "This temple," Serapion whispered, "is older than the pharaoh you saw yesterday, older than the kingdom itself. Some say it was built when gods still walked among men." Arda ran his fingers across the stone. It was warm, too warm. "What do you see?" Serapion asked. I don't know," Arda replied. "Symbols, shapes, they feel familiar." Serapion nodded. "You recognize them because they recognize you." Before Arda could respond, a shadow moved across the wall. A tall woman stepped from behind a column. Her skin was bronze, her hair black as obsidian, braided with gold. Her eyes, dark and reflective, held a depth that made Arda shiver. "I am Nephraya," she said, "daughter of the moon, guide of the forgotten." Arda blinked. "You were watching me?" "For a very long time." Serapion bowed his head. "She serves forces older than our kings." Nephraya stepped closer. "You carry a mark upon you, the seal of a forgotten god. Look," she pointed to Arda's wrist. A faint symbol glowed beneath his skin, a circle with a vertical line descending from it. The Eye of Ra. Arda gasped as the temple around him shifted. The walls glowed. The symbols rearranged themselves. Stone melted into light. And suddenly, Arda was no longer standing in the ruins. He was in the temple as it once was, thousands of years ago. Priests chanted, incense burned. A golden statue of Ra towered above them. The sound of drums echoed, and a voice, deep and thunderous, spoke in a language Arda somehow understood. "The child of time returns. The gate shall open, and the serpent shall rise." Then the vision shattered. Arda fell to his knees, gasping. Serapion steadied him. "You saw the past." Nephraya nodded. "Not just the past. You saw a prophecy." Arda trembled. "What does it mean?" "It means," Nephraya whispered, "that the fate of Egypt and the fate of the world now rests with you." But someone else had been watching. Hidden in the shadows was a tall figure draped in black. His eyes glowed with serpent-like intensity, and as Arda caught sight of him, the stranger vanished in a swirl of sand. Serapion paled. "The Serpent Order has awakened." The serpent in the sand. Night draped its veil across the desert. The moon hung low, casting silver light over dunes that stretched into infinity. Arda walked with Nephraya as a cold wind whispered warnings through the darkness. The Serpent Order, the shadowy figure, the prophecy. Nothing made sense. "Nephraya, who is the man watching us?" She hesitated. "His name is Sutek, High Priest of the Serpent Order, a cult that worships chaos, darkness, and the ancient enemy of creation." Arda swallowed hard. "You mean Set, the god of storms and destruction?" Nephraya nodded. "Sutek believes the prophecy speaks of a gateway, one that will allow his dark master to reclaim the world. And he thinks I'm the key." "He doesn't think," Nephraya whispered. "He knows." A hiss echoed through the air. Arda froze. The sand around him began to move, swirl, rise into a spiral. From beneath the ground emerged a colossal serpent, its scales shimmering like molten gold, its eyes glowing like burning coals. Arda stumbled backward. "What is that?" Nephraya unsheathed a blade of polished bronze. "A guardian of Set. Stay behind me." The serpent lunged. Nephraya slashed at its neck, sparks flying as metal struck scale. Arda scrambled across the sand, reaching for anything to defend himself. His hand brushed a buried stone. It pulsed with light, and suddenly a surge of energy burst from Arda's palm. Golden, radiant, divine. The serpent shrieked as the light struck it. The creature dissolved into smoke and sand. Arda stared at his glowing hand in shock. "What did I just—" "You awakened the Eye of Ra," Nephraya breathed. Your power is growing." But Serapion emerged from the dunes with terror on his face. "This is only the beginning," he said. "Sutek now knows you can fulfill the prophecy, and he will stop at nothing to capture you." Arda's heart pounded. "Why me? I'm nobody." "No," Serapion said. "You are the one chosen by the gods." The fall of the Pharaoh. A storm raged over Thebes. Lightning split the sky as the palace vibrated with shouts, marching soldiers, and the clash of steel. Arda, Nephrea, and Serapion pushed through the chaos as rebellion ignited across the city. "The Serpent Order has infiltrated the palace," Serapion said. "They intend to overthrow the pharaoh and seize the throne." Arda's eyes widened. "If they do, the gateway will open," Nephrea finished, "and darkness will flood the world." The palace gates burst open. Sutek emerged, flanked by masked warriors. In his hand, he held a staff topped with a serpent head, eyes glowing crimson. "Child of time," he hissed. "The gods cannot protect you." Nephrea stepped forward. "You will not touch him." Sutek smiled. "You cannot stop fate, daughter of the moon." He struck his staff on the ground. A wave of dark energy exploded outward. Arda and the others were thrown across the throne room. The pharaoh fell from his golden seat, his crown clattering across the floor. Sutek seized the throne and raised the serpent staff skyward. At last, the age of the serpent begins. But Arda rose, shaking, terrified, yet burning with a fire deep within. "No," he whispered, "not while I still breathe." The eye of Ra ignited on his wrist. Light burst from his body. Sutek screamed as the throne room erupted in a blinding explosion. The gate of forever. Silence followed the explosion. Arda awoke on the desert floor. The stars spun overhead. Nephrea lay beside him, unconscious but alive. Serapion knelt, breathing heavily. "You stopped him for now," the old man said. Arda sat up. "Where is Sutek?" Serapion pointed toward the horizon. There, rising from the earth, like a mountain of stone and flame, was a massive gate carved with divine symbols. Light pulsed from its center like a heartbeat. "The gateway of forever," Serapion whispered. "The bridge between worlds." Arda felt the pull. A connection. As if the gate was calling to him, Nephrea opened her eyes. "If you step through, you may never return home." Arda gazed at the swirling portal. "My home," he whispered, "was never about where I came from. It's about what I choose to protect." He stepped forward. The eye of Ra blazed. The gate exploded with golden fire, and Arda vanished into the light, his destiny unfolding beyond mortal understanding. A journey across time, gods, and worlds, to be continued.